The MAGA bromance is back. Just when the Democrats thought they had a shot at the midterms, news broke that is literally every single Democrat strategist across the country panicked. Elon Musk is coming back bigger and better than ever, and he's bringing his checkbook with him. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, celebrating yet another glorious day in the Trumpian golden age that you made possible back in November of 2024. So if you want a front row seat on how you continue to change the world in ways you never even imagined, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. According to a new report from Axios, the world's richest man is reviving his dormant super PAC, America PAC, for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to crush the Democrats in the midterms. The ultra-left Daily Beast is flipping out that Musk is back to pump hundreds of millions of dollars into key House races. Remember, because of all the redistricting, there's only about 17 to 20 toss-up seats. And so Elon is focusing his finances on investing heavily in door knocking, like you helped Cliff Maloney do with Pennsylvania Chase to help win the Keystone State for Trump in 2024. He's focusing on digital advertising. He's focusing on direct mail, specifically aimed at energizing conservative voters, particularly in these swing districts. When all is said and done, these midterm elections are going to come down to whichever side does the better job of getting their own base to the polls, particularly the low to no prop voters, low to no propensity voters who voted rarely, if at all, in the last several elections. Musk isn't trying to win over independents with slick ads. He's going straight at the biggest structural problem Republicans had in the last midterms in 2022, getting out the reliable but rare voter, the reliable but rare voter. In other words, voters who vote Republican when they come out to vote. The low to no prop voter, those voters who simply didn't show up in the last midterms, they cost the Republicans the margins needed for a massive majority. Now, when I say that the bromance is back, I'm not kidding. We have to remember that Musk was the single largest individual political donor in American history, actually, during a single election cycle, pouring nearly $300 million into Trump's 2024 re-election effort through America PAC. And now he's here to do it again. He's made it absolutely clear, as far as he's concerned, the Democrats are a threat to civilization. They're a threat to American renewal. They're a threat to cultural flourishing, and that the MAGA movement is society's best hope, both here and abroad. Remember, as you know, Elon's a big fan of comparable MAGA movements in Europe, like in Germany with the AfD, or in the UK with Rupert Lowe's Restore Britain. And he wants to see a permanent MAGA majority here at home for the foreseeable future. And he's going to use his considerable wealth and influence to make sure that happens. And what's so astonishing here is that Musk isn't walking into this fight from behind. He's walking in with the GOP financial wins already at his back, because the numbers on the money side of this election are absolutely jaw-dropping. Before Elon even announced this, according to Bloomberg, Trump and his Republican allies had already amassed a staggering $1.1 billion war chest heading into the midterms, more than triple what the entire National Democrat Party currently has in the bank. $1.1 billion spread across super PACs and committees tied to Trump and Republican leadership in the House and Senate. That mountain of cash dwarfs the mere $300 million Democrats are working with via their super donors like George Soros or Reid Hoffman. Note here, this is not just It's not a small edge. This isn't a marginal advantage. Republicans' war chest, even before Elon entered in the picture, already gave them the ability to saturate every battleground airwave in this country with advertising, defending their candidates, and going after Democrats, initiating get out the vote campaigns. All the while, Democrats are left scraping together a fraction of those resources. And now, on top of that, the richest man on the planet is entering in to pump in a massive new amount that aims at completely drowning out anything the Democrats can hope to muster. So now you understand why this Musk news is such a nightmare for Democrat strategists. It's not just that Musk himself is bringing most likely hundreds of millions of dollars back into the fight. It's that he's doing it on top of a Republican financial machine that already dwarfs anything Democrats can put together, all funneled directly into the ground game that decides who actually shows up to vote in a midterm. And as if that weren't bad enough, now you got the latest polls that have just come out. And if Musk's entry into this race wasn't panicking the Democrats, you could be assured the latest polls are doing just that. For years, the left has done their best to convince millions of Americans that their real enemy is not big government or crooked politicians or communist ideologies, but instead they would have us believe that the real enemy is our fellow rich Americans, right? Think about it. How often have you heard someone complain that the rich get richer while the poor get poorer? It's a phrase that's been around for years, but lately we've been hearing it more and more from the mouths of so-called social justice warriors. You know, people like Elizabeth Warren, who said nobody in this country got rich on their own, or New York's socialist mayor Mamdani, who said, I don't even think there should be billionaires. Why? Well, because the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. And that's why we should figure out how to raise taxes and take the money from rich people and give it to the government, who will be sure to redistribute it in a fair way, like USAID did, right? This is how the left thinks. However, what if the real question isn't how do we take the money from the rich people, but what are the rich doing to get richer? That's the question a good friend of this channel, Mark Wilburn, has been asking for nearly 20 years. Mark is the president of Neos Capital and the author of the book Understanding the Matthew Effect, Unlocking the Mystery Behind Why the Rich Get Richer. In the book, Mark argues that the fact that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer is actually a timeless economic principle that Jesus taught about when he said in the book of Matthew, to everyone who has, more shall be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who does not have, even what he does have shall be taken away. In the book, he explains why it's better to understand and tap into this universal law instead of trying to fight it through woke economic policies. It's a great short read, and normally the book is $19, but Mark's agreed to give away a limited number of digital copies to our listeners. Simply go to freebookforturley.com right now to claim your free copy. I think you'll absolutely love it. That's freebookforturley.com. Here's the latest with the House seat projections. Crystal Ball's the most conservative. They've got the GOP at 208 safe seats to the Democrats' 207 with 20 toss-up. But Inside Elections has the GOP at 215 safe seats with the Democrats at just 206. This after, according to Cook Political Report, the GOP took upwards of 12 seats from the Democrats through redistricting alone. As if things couldn't get worse, according to Quinnipiac, the Democrats have fallen to an approval rating of just 17%. There ain't a lot farther you can go. I mean, things are absolutely abysmal for this dying party. Even CNN's own data guru, Harry Enton, couldn't hide his amusement when he was reporting on this. He was just saying, the Democrats are beneath the Dead Sea in terms of public perception. Democratic voters themselves are giving their own party's representatives a -6 rating, and independents rated them at a brutal -61. Support from Democrat voters for their own congressional leadership has collapsed by 28 points since last October's government shutdown fight. And in terms of the generic ballot, take a look at this. This is according to the Washington Post. Take a look at where the Democrats were back in 2018, the last time they took the House by winning 40 seats. They were up on the generic ballot by 10. At this same time in the midterms, right now, they're up by 3. That tain't enough, as they say. If they were hoping for a blue wave like 2018, there's nothing going on right now that suggests anything even remotely like that. Take a look at the latest from Reuters Ipsos. It's not just the congressional generic ballot, which has the Democrats, for Reuters Ipsos, up by just 2. But look at trust on the issues. Crime, Republicans are up by 17. On immigration, Republicans are plus 7. On the economy, Republicans are up by 4. The Democrats are literally drowning. And a CNN poll found a majority of voters don't even believe Democrats can do anything. They don't think Democrats could lower the cost of living. They don't think Democrats can help with the economy. I mean, this was all supposed to be their signature attack line against Republicans this entire cycle, especially with the Iran war going on. The Democrat Party's net favorability has cratered from a positive 1 point back in 2018 to a brutal negative 24 today. So here's the picture forming right in front of us. Democrats are historically unpopular with their own voters, let alone the population as a whole. The generic ballot advantage, which used to be a guaranteed double-digit cushion heading into the midterm, has all but disappeared. Voters trust Republicans more on nearly every major issue driving this election. And now on top of all that, Republicans are sitting on $1 billion cash advantage with Elon Musk, the single largest political donor in American history, jumping right back into the fight specifically to turn out the low to no prop voters who usually stay home in midterms. This is not a recipe for a Democrat comeback. This is a recipe for a Republican landslide. So what do you guys think? Are we going to pull this off? What do you think about Elon joining the fight? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button for breaking news and analysis you're not going to get anywhere else. Love you guys. God bless.